Hi friends. I'm reading through Judges, which picks up at the end of Joshua. And you see Israel begin to fall into this cycle of rebellion and repentance, where they give in to peer pressure and start worshiping foreign gods, rejecting the God who saved them. They of course end up being oppressed by the people around them. But then they cry out to God and he rescues them, and they have a time of peace. And then they rebel again and start the thing all over again. This happens multiple times and eventually turns into kind of this downward spiral where you see them losing closeness with God more and more, losing their morality, their values as a culture. I think really it serves to illustrate the need for a Redeemer, why God had to send Jesus. You know, even in spite of having the law, having this clear directive from God to be a people set apart, to walk intimately with him as his people, the people of Israel still fail to keep their side of the covenant. But I think it also illustrates something really beautiful about the character of God, who never fails to keep his side. So as you read the first few chapters, you see this thing happen. And first, I think Israel is oppressed by Aram. And that lasts 8 years. And then they cry out to God, ask for rescue, and he gives them 40 years of peace. Well, again, they start practicing the same things as the people around them, practices that we know included things like child sacrifice and temple prostitution. They end up being oppressed by Moab, but then God rescues them and gives them 80 years of peace. It happens again with Gideon when the Midianites were even stealing their food, and they're oppressed, I think, for 8 years. They cry out to God, he delivers them and gives them 40 years of peace. Like, think about this. God's mercy always lasts so much longer than their rebellion. He is just so patient. And this is true of who God is. This is true of how he deals with us today. He pursues us with the same kind of love. I mean, it doesn't matter how low we fall. It doesn't matter how far we stray, how much we sin. His mercy is more. His grace reaches deeper. His kindness lasts longer. His love always outstrips our sin. See, if we just turn to him, if we just cry out, he stands at the ready to close this distance between us at one stride. This is the God who loves you and me, who has pursued us with his love, who invites us to turn back to him. Go in peace. Walk in love.